Good morning. My name is Dorothy Huddleston, and welcome to the DealMaker Session Series Part 2, Identifying and Meeting Market Needs. Today's presenter is Donna Doleman Dickerson. She is the first-time ever Chief Marketing Officer at GreenPath Financial Wellness, a national financial service organization. Doleman Dickerson leads the brand and marketing initiatives that focus on deep customer-centric and creative expertise. Upon taking the role in 2017, she quickly designed transformative marketing strategy that generates measurable impact on GreenPath's mission and bottom line. Her innovative approach to marketing has been game-changing in reaching more people than ever before with GreenPath services for financial well-being. Dickerson has received several awards and has served on numerous boards and community organizations and is currently a member of the state board for the Make-A-Wish Foundation and is the board of directors for Trinity Health Michigan. I ask that you give Donna your full attention, and if you have questions or comments, make sure that you type them in the appropriate chat box down below, and make sure to please mute your phone and or your device. And with that, help me in welcoming her to the webcasting platform.
Thank you. I think we have a video.
For nearly 60 years, people have trusted GreenPath as their guide through financial crises. And during this time, our 500 team members remain here for you.
Our goal has always been to empower people to lead financially healthy lives. And now this is more important than ever.
Our dedicated team is focused on empowering people with the knowledge and tools to weather the financial effects of the coronavirus pandemic.
If you are not able to pay your mortgage or rent and are worried about losing your home, we are here to help.
If your income has been impacted or your world has just been turned upside down, we are here to help.
If your credit card payments seem unmanageable and you need someone to talk with, we are here for you.
We will make it through this together.
Great. So I will share my screen here. Coming right up. Are we there yet?
Yes, all set.
All right, great. So I wanted to kick off the presentation with that video because it's a nice preview of what we do and how we help and our marketing strategy. As Dorothy mentioned, I am the first CMO, and a couple of years ago I joined the company, and I walked into a rebrand of GreenPath Debt Solutions, a shift to GreenPath Financial Wellness. And I was asked to share our story today on how we identify and meet market needs. So the objectives, if you have a product or service, if you're listening and you want to understand how to reach your intended audience and build a marketing plan, that's kind of what we're going to cover today. And I'll cover that through our strategy, our tools, how we responded and how we're still responding to the pandemic, and share some recent results. And I'll close with the client video, kind of sharing our user experience. I think it's easier when we're talking about marketing concepts to really look at those through a lens of a story, a real story. So I'll get right into it. I normally ask in a room, how many people have heard of GreenPath? By a show of hands. I can't see hands right now. But one of the things, when I was recruited here 2 years ago, I had not heard of GreenPath, but we're a national nonprofit based here in Michigan, and we've been around for almost 60 years. And the marketing imperative when I joined was to create awareness of GreenPath. Again, I personally hadn't heard of GreenPath. Friends and family had, and I quickly learned that it was an amazing company with great culture. Hundreds of thousands of people have been helped paying off their debt, becoming financially well, and saving money. And so friends and family traditionally was a strong channel, and it worked well. But our CEO wanted to really get proactive and reaching more people. So she came out and set a bold vision, a big, hairy, audacious goal, a BHAG. And that BHAG is remix the American dream so it works for everyone. So it's not just a vision that's on a wall. It's really reflective, and it guides what our teams do every day when people call us. It means if people are looking to save money to buy a car, or save money to go on vacation, or just get out of debt, or pay student loans off, whatever that dream is, when people call, our teams are right here available, waiting to answer those questions and help people along that path. So when we think about segmentation and targeting, the organizers asked me to talk about these topics, and I'll walk you through those principles in the context of GreenPath. So from a segmentation standpoint, this image is our intended impact, who we help. When you're thinking about segmentation, you're getting narrow. You can't serve everybody. So you want to narrow your focus into segments and target and then position. And for us, we narrowed our focus to adults that are ready to make a decision to tackle their finances. On average, the people that call, a large percentage of the callers are women that are either head of household or in a joint household, and they're ready to make a decision for their families. Similar to healthcare, where the decision maker tends to be the woman. But targeting are people that can benefit from our services that might have multiple credit cards. They might be carrying high balances on those credit cards with high interest rates. And then we also target through, as you can see, our partnerships. Our client acquisition channel is through our partner channel, where we work with over 500 banks, credit unions, employers, insurance companies, mortgage servicers, where they refer their clients to us. And so our intended impact is to really improve financial resilience. That might be reducing that debt load, increasing cash flow and savings. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on positioning, because positioning, as you think about your product and your service, positioning is key. You want to understand what the value is. What is the benefit? What is the pain point? What is the problem you're solving? So positioning is where when you're thinking about your marketing plan, you want to spend a lot of time in the positioning step. As we approached our marketing strategy, it was important for us to understand the market. What's happening in the market? What are the marketing dynamics? What are people's pain points? And these are 3 bullets of what people's pain points are as it relates to our services. How can we serve people that are dealing with credit card debt, stressed about money? How are we positioning our services? Before coronavirus, the financial fallout from the crisis, there were many marketplace dynamics that were already occurring. And when coronavirus hit the country in the world, we were really uniquely positioned. Thinking about positioning, we were uniquely positioned to help people that need us. Credit cards, debt is a pain point, student loan debt. We've heard so much about that recently. And then last year, government shutdown, furloughs impacting many employees all over the country. Also last year, the Federal Reserve announced that, you know what, 7 million people, Americans, are 90 days delinquent on their auto loan. So as you think about positioning, we were uniquely positioned to step right in and help, given these market dynamics. So it's important there to really look at your consumer and look at their needs, and then also align that with what's happening in the market. And then of course, the effect of coronavirus, creating chaos around the world. So as you can imagine, the financial fallout from that, on top of all those other market dynamics, has been significant. So what does that really mean for us in how we address customer needs? We've begun to develop tools and services and really promote the existing services that we have to address these needs. I'm not going to spend time on our services because I really want to walk you through the marketing strategy as we are looking at today. But will highlight that one of our services, one of our core services, is a product that aligns people's payments with their paychecks, and it allows them to pay down their debt faster. And the value proposition there is clients can reduce their interest rates, they can reduce fees, and achieve lower credit scores over time. So when we think about all of those market dynamics, those were the pain points, and then we have our solutions. So what I'll say also, when you're thinking about product development and segmenting the market and positioning your product, differentiation is key. Be able to back up why you're different, why you're better. And one of the areas that we focus on in terms of our principles is empathy. We don't judge people that come to us, no matter what their issues are. We just empower them. And what are the proof points behind that? Well, we spend a lot of time on empathy. We have an empathy coach that works with all of our team members. We focus on behavioral science, really focusing and communicating with our clients when they call us in an opportunity mindset, trying to establish achievable goals and walking them through navigating their situation. And then the last area that we are, one of our, I would say, differentiating matters principles is human-centered design thinking. And that's really designing our work around the client's needs. So when you think about your product, also think about differentiating your product or service, and then making sure you have proof points on why that is the case, why you're different, why you're better. So the marketing strategy pulls it all together. Segmentation, who you're targeting, how you're positioning your value, what tools you're going to use, and what you're going to measure. So I'll just set the stage with our marketing strategy and our journey through our situation at GreenPath. So priority number one, this is an image of a conversation. So priority number one for me when I started was to meet with our leaders and meet with our frontline employees to understand, what do we need from a marketing strategy? What are we doing? What are we trying to accomplish? And from those conversations, I was able to set the vision for what we needed. We needed an effort that was, in this case, was focused on more strategy and being proactive and reaching two segments: our clients, consumers, and then our business partners. I mentioned our 500 credit union partners, bank partners, employers, insurance companies. So two segments and two strategies. And we were sort of on a wheel of kind of pushing out content, not really strategic. And we really wanted to move from fulfillment, kind of a fulfillment house, to really strategic and being intentional. The other thing that I'll note is when you're crafting your marketing strategy, you really want to look at the talent that you need. I am so fortunate that I was able to build an amazing team with a nice balance of deep customer or company expertise at GreenPath, combined with new talent that had deep digital marketing and content marketing expertise. So that was key also. So think about the talent that you have when you're looking at your marketing strategy and really executing on a good strategy. These are must-haves. Digital marketing and content marketing are really critical. And then the tools. These are all the tools we know about, right? These are the tools that we established new in our toolbox a couple of years ago, and they're paying dividends right now in terms of results. What I'll say is, don't forget about email. Email is not dead. People are open their emails every day, and it is a great tool to nurture existing clients. I'd also say our website, and I'll chat a link to a Forbes article that we wrote about some website tips that you might find helpful. I will also say on this, just pulling out SEO. We say in our team, SEO is a gift that keeps on giving. Once you establish strong SEO, you get organic volume to your website. It really sets you up to acquire new customers. So I mentioned our CEO wanted to set a bold vision of reaching more people. So I'm just going to walk you through over the last few years how we deployed those tools in our toolbox each year, and they kind of built upon each other each year. Foundational was the first year. We really focused on brand awareness. Who's GreenPath? I'd never heard of GreenPath. Several family members had. Friends and family was a primary channel, and partners to get new clients. So we focused on a strong social media strategy. We streamlined, we had a number of different social media pages across the platforms, and it was a little disjointed. So we kind of centralized that and coordinated that a little bit better, establishing editorial calendars, started sending out press releases about the amazing work that was being done. We launched a new website, and I'll promise to share that Forbes link to that article. We also, as a nonprofit, we benefit from Google AdWords, and we launched Google AdWords in the market. The next year, we focused on tracking. What is the marketing ROI? What are we achieving for the organization? So we focused on setting up tracking systems using HubSpot as a lead generating tool and our internal system to track. We also focused on more proactively reaching out to the media to share our story and what we can do for people. We also launched a new podcast series called Real Money Stories. And the last thing we did that was really critical is we enabled all of our 500 plus partners, bank partners, to access our information by creating a PRM, a partner resource management system. And then this year, we've really been focused on data-driven marketing. And we set out the year with a new video strategy, which I shared one video and I'll share another one later. But we quickly, in March, we quickly had to pivot. And I'll talk a little bit about that pivot later. So as we continue on this journey and looking at addressing customer needs, we have to take a stop and look at the funnel. And that's the marketing funnel. And that marketing funnel is really the process of how people make decisions, what they go through before they make a decision to choose your product or choose your service. And the funnel starts with awareness and just sharing that we were really intentional about this year. So we kicked off, these are samples on the left-hand side, or just screenshots of some of our social and some of our blog content. We were really intentional about what we were talking about in our editorial calendar. And that calendar really guides what we're going to say every day. And we take a look and we pre-plan that every month. But we were looking at 2020, new year, new decade, people are ready to change. We served a lot of content around setting goals and achieving your dreams around new goals in a new year and clear vision. We talked about, how people can get out of debt, and then how our programs can help people. And quickly, the coronavirus pandemic occurred, and we pivoted to focus on those needs. As we move along the funnel, you've got capture. That's when you might, in the capture phase, is when people are thinking about the service or product. And so what do you need to do to get them to make a decision? What can you do to nurture and develop a relationship? What can you do to engage them? And so for us, during this time period when there was so much, the financial impact of the pandemic was becoming apparent to everyone, we started serving relevant, timely information to people. And this blog on the left, what to do if your income is interrupted. How many people did that affect? And it, to this date, is the top blog post of all time. We also, as I mentioned, deployed our video strategy, and our CEO connected with and engaged our audiences around what to do with your stimulus check. What can you do, how to plan, how to budget. And then also our social channels were also focused on these items. Nurture. That nurture stage, you've captured, they might be in your funnel, they're still seeking information, they may or may not be ready to make a decision, or they may just want information and want to develop a relationship. And so in our situation, we noticed in looking at our target and the segments, we noticed that 50% increase in housing questions. People are trying to stay in their homes. People were trying to figure out rent. We just heard today that the renter eviction, there are some more support programs for eliminating or preventing evictions right now. So these tools, these are just a couple of samples of tools on how we were staying in touch with our clients, existing clients, and actually, future clients. Convert. That's the counseling session for us in the funnel. You've got awareness, capture, nurture, and then convert. So our conversion would be someone picking up the phone and calling us. And that would be that counseling session. So you can see by some of the thumbnails that I shared that we were able to respond to these changing market dynamics, and you want to be able to respond. This next chart is a pretty busy chart, and it's busy because our marketing team was busy. How did we respond to the COVID pandemic? How did it impact our marketing efforts? Significantly. In the 6 or 7 weeks, the first weeks after the orders to stay at home around mid-March, we created more new content in that time period, really responding to needs, than we would normally create in about a 6-month period. So really timely, relevant, impactful, and integrated across our strategy, was the imperative. So what were the results from that? When you think about your goals, and we want to really focus on if it's a new product, remember we were rebranding. GreenPath Debt Solutions, now GreenPath Financial Wellness. And we wanted to create more awareness of who we were. So top of funnel is that awareness. How can you measure that? We said we want to measure it through number of people, because we were driving people to our website. So number of people coming to us. So this is just a screen grab of Google Analytics. And it's comparing Q1 last year to Q1 this year. And the blue line is this year. And you can see right around the time of the COVID pandemic beginning is when we saw the increase. So we're looking normally under normal circumstances, you want to look at your website visits. So we're looking at that 50% in website visits, great, awesome. But then you want, because website visits could have new and returning people, right? So you want to also look at new people coming in. We're trying to expand our awareness, right? So we have been able to, you can see almost 67% increase in new people. That means fresh eyes, new people coming to us for the first time. And that's where we want to get them in the funnel, meet their needs, understand what their needs are, track, look at your metrics, and pivot. This is another visual of something we're measuring impressions. How many people see GreenPath in their feeds, in articles, and in display. This tracks all of our impressions, and we take a look at the last couple of years, and you can see we're able to reach more people through our integrated marketing strategy. And these are, we also track calls, and it's a lot more complicated, so we won't talk about the call metrics today. But we do want to highlight kind of the awareness metrics. Media is another big opportunity to get the word out about your product or your service. We surveyed clients when they call us. We survey clients, and after a counseling session, this is what we hear. We hear people feel better prepared to handle their finances on their own. When they call us, sometimes they say, you know what, I wish I had called sooner. Like, why was I struggling? Why was I suffering in silence? We have also seen their reporting that they have improved spending habits. They're more aware through behavioral science and setting goals, realistic goals. People become more aware of what they're spending things on. I don't really need to go to Starbucks every day. I don't really need to eat out eat out for lunch. I can buy groceries and do meal prep. And then we also saw people increasing their savings through those surveys. So just to summarize, a few takeaways. The first is understanding the customer needs and know as much as you can about your customers, and then focus that message around those needs. And these are two screenshots of some of the areas, some of the messaging that we started out with. We talked about remixing the American dream. You can set goals for your dreams, if it's saving for a vacation or if it's paying off your student loans. And then, everybody deserves that, and really focusing on what people need. And I think also, I'll just say, now more than ever, people during a global pandemic, there are so many unique needs, and really focusing on those is going to serve companies well that are introducing new products or trying to sell existing products. Marketing it's truly a long-term investment. And the more you know about your customers, the better position you are to provide the right solutions. And I have to say, we haven't arrived. There's a lot more market research we need to do and we want to do in the coming weeks and months and years as we continue to serve people. The next takeaway is don't forget the funnel. It's a multi-channel view of your funnel. Be intentional about what experiences you want to create for your customers and what you want them to do at each stage. Do you want them to just understand more? Do you want to educate them? Do you want them to experience your service? Be intentional about each stage of the funnel. And the last is about agility. Don't set it and forget it. We spend a lot of time planning and creating our plans and our editorial calendars and identifying the right messages, but be agile. Be ready to pivot quickly when you need to. If you take a look at your metrics, you've set your performance indicators, you've taken a look at those and something's not right, we're not getting the engagement we thought we would get, why? Be agile and pivot when you need to. And I'll close with this one, user experience. Don't forget to incorporate your success stories and your testimonials in your marketing strategy. We have tons of wonderful feedback of people that we've helped, and as a nonprofit serving the needs of people that are in need, it's awesome to see and be appreciated, and we like to share that. So I will close with this, and I think Dan is going to help me with the final client video before our Q&A. Thank you.
We joined GreenPath and instantly felt a support around us. We had a family that was behind us 100% in GreenPath.
They developed a plan on paper, and this is how we're gonna do it. And it was the first time I saw our finances laid out, and it just made so much sense.
I've been with the program for about 15 months, and I can honestly say this was the best thing that I have ever done for myself.
Working with GreenPath allowed me to consolidate my debt and get a reduced interest rate.
The day that we signed up, we felt this weight lifted off our shoulders.
The plan that they gave me was something that was sustainable. It was something I could do. It was actually lowering my payments monthly by hundreds of dollars.
Choosing GreenPath is a no-brainer. They're a nonprofit. They've been around a long time.
Thank you so much, Donna. That was really great. A lot of great information. And I do have some Q&A questions. I don't know if we can do a split screen. I want to do something slightly different today if we can. I want to put Donna back on the screen and see if we could do like a side-by-side conversation. I do have several questions that I would like to ask you if we can do that.
I'm hearing some feedback and I'm not hearing you clearly. I don't know, something happened after the video, I believe.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's still some feedback. We're gonna have to.
Okay, so we need to do some Q&A questions. Are you able to hear me now?
It's not clear, but we'll give it a shot.
Okay, let's try it again. How about now?
It's about the same.
About the same. Okay, well, I will try to do my best. I don't know, we're having some technical difficulties today, but there are a few questions that I would like to ask you. The first one is, what are some of the biggest marketing mistakes one should avoid?
The last part was garbled. What are the biggest marketing mistakes is what I heard.
One should avoid. What's the last one?
One should avoid?
Yep.
One should avoid.
I would say trying to be all things to all people. If you've got a product and service, I think segmentation, one of the core principles is really trying to narrow your focus. Who are you really trying to reach with your product or service? If you're trying to go too deep or too wide, first of all, it's probably expensive to market to that, a broad audience, and it's typically not effective. So I would say trying to be all things to all people and not knowing enough about the end user of your product or service that you are launching or trying to sell, or your existing clients, trying to maintain.
How company culture impacts its market?
I believe it was, how does your company culture impact your market?
How does my company, the GreenPath culture, impact marketing or the market?
Does the company's culture impact its market?
Does the company's culture impact its market? I think it can. In our case, we've got a really strong, cohesive culture, and we just a bunch of caring people. It's 500 employees we've got across the country, and people just care. And one of the things that I was taken by when I joined is the average tenure around our company is about 10 years. And so when we think about all those dynamics that I described, people are suffering and have challenges in their finances. So a company that cares and dealing with those kinds of situations, that culture does impact the service delivery. And I think that's one of the reasons why we get so much good feedback about how we've helped, because our people generally care. So that caring culture, I believe, has helped us in our product. And I mentioned earlier, the friends and family, we didn't really do any proactive marketing. We survived on word of mouth. And call GreenPath, they care. So absolutely, I do think company culture impacts the market.
Thank you for that. How do I retain long-term clients? What are some of the tools I could work with?
I think it's easier to keep clients than to get new clients. So client retention, I would take us back to the funnel, thinking about client retention, engaging people in that capture nurture, understanding what those clients need and serving them information or trying to create engagement to maintain that relationship. One of the things that I'll note is our CEO really putting a lot of energy into connecting with people and creating that connection.
Thank you. Could you share any market research strategies you have used to stay ahead of the competition?
We need to do a lot. I'll be honest. We'll need to do a lot more market research. But I can say that there's the research that we've done, the time that we spent around empathy, design thinking, and behavioral science. Those are the things that have made us successful And focusing on those three elements really differentiate us and set us apart from other companies like us. And I think there's more research we can do, but those core areas, those are our core kind of principles of focus that have set us apart.
All right. Donna, this is Anu, and I have a couple of questions because Dorothy sounded a little odd. So one of the questions is, owing to several social marketing tools, the users are pretty disintegrated, especially with regard to the engagement, right? So as a marketing professional with everything that you're doing at GreenPath as well as from your experience, what are some of the things that do we need to carefully consider when launching a product?
So you mentioned social marketing tools. So social channels, there's so many and they're so different. And if you're launching a product, you really want to understand who you're trying to reach with that specific product and aligning that target with who really connects with that social channel. So Twitter is so different from TikTok, it's so different from Facebook. So as you're launching a product, really understand who you're trying to reach and understand what channel could help you reach that target better. For us, we're not using TikTok much. Maybe we do some research and find an opportunity, but we really have focused looking at our products on Facebook, LinkedIn for our B2B side, Instagram now, and Twitter. So really understanding who you're trying to reach. There's tons of demographics on each social channel on really who spends time on these channels and how can you reach them. So that would be my suggestion in understanding the demographics first, and then selecting the right social platform.
Especially when it comes to user personas, people feel that it's an old school theory, but you're working with contemporary products. Do you think user persona is still relevant while creating a marketing plan or while putting a marketing strategy together? Do you think it's important to do this for every product?
I do. User personas, they're created when you research and find specific clients that you serve or you want to serve, and it allows you to craft specific features for that product. So knowing, the more you know about the persona of who's buying your product, the more you can customize how you speak to that user. And we all understand we like to be spoken to in a way that connects with us. We like relevant information, right? So user personas is something that's alive and well, and I definitely think taking the time to craft and customize messaging to specific users is time well spent.
Another question is, especially when there's a lot of competing companies, right? There's competition all around us, and that's a reality that's in every industry. Could you share any market research strategies that you have used to stay ahead of the competition, or could you advise marketing professionals or folks who are getting into marketing to to understand or identify any kind of marketing strategies which you think could work, especially in the time of, especially in today's time where it's pandemic and we're all going digital, and would you be able to, help suggest or, identify some of the strategies that might work?
I was on another webinar a couple months ago, and I was surprised by this, but empathy. I mean, in this time of uncertainty, how many times have we heard that word? Everybody is working from home and dealing with homeschooling and really getting in the mind of the end user and what they're dealing with. Empathy. It's a principle that we've been focusing on for a number of years, but I think it's kind of bubbling up as a trend, and really kind of connecting with users in their needs. And for us, we understand, all of the financial challenges that I've shared, but our message of empathy is you're not alone. And we're in this together. And that message goes far. And so I would say empathy and connecting and understanding what people are dealing with. And I think a lot of the product brands have, you can see some of the advertising that really shows that that empathic lens now.
I'll take the next question. So for someone, our very first time, have never created a pitch deck and they would like to compete in a competition, what websites or where they can get resources as far as how to lay out their pitch deck and or maybe some tools to actually do like graphics and things of that nature, where can they go to get this information?
You know what, that's not my expertise. Okay. I think there's Canva is a tool that I know people use for graphics. I would say that would be the one that comes off the top. I could think more about that, but yeah, I don't spend a lot of time on those.
Great. We still have more time if our attendees would like to ask a question. We still have I would say probably about 5 or 10 more minutes if anyone would like to ask a question at this time. Let's check the chat. Okay. It looks like we don't have questions.
And you're back much clearer now.
Thank you. There was some type of technical difficulty. They were able to finalize that and fix it. So great, I'm back. Yeah, so thank you for that. Let's see, is there any other questions? Okay, so it looked like let's see, is there any more questions out there? Well, do you have any final thoughts or advice?
My advice would just be the agility piece is, given how quickly things change in our world, every day something changes in what's happening with forbearances or evictions, and we have to stay on top of timely information. So I would just say be ready to pivot and be agile, measure your results, and be ready to make a change quickly.
Thank you for that. So Donna, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And you've given us a lot of great information that we can take with us with our business and resources that we can definitely use. And we're really, really excited about the DealMaker session. This is a very first event that we've never done before, which we're super, super excited about the DealMaker session. And so I would like to share with you some of the other events that are coming up in regards to the series for the DealMaker session, which is the business model design and validation. That's coming up next Friday. And how to prepare a viable and successful pitch deck and elevator pitch. That's going to be truly amazing, how to make this work and how you can actually land a deal. So I want to say thank you so much, Donna, for being here with us today. We do apologize for all of the technical difficulties, but you know what? That's how it works, and we just have to roll with it as it comes, right? But do again, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We greatly appreciate you. And we do ask that you stay safe during these challenging times. And we hope to see you again next week, same place, same time. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.